Well, howdy. Did you get yourself a cup of coffee? Well, I hope so. I got this, bottle opener from a friend of mine, and it says, "In dog beers, I've had only one." And I think I could say that with coffee. In dog years, it doesn't really work. In dog coffees, I've only had one. Hopefully you got yours. I am super excited. If you couldn't tell by the title, this week, the engine goes back in Ella. I know, right? What a great car. So I'm supposed to pick up the engine for her this week, so I just need to move some things around, prep some things, order a couple of things that we can talk about at the time. And man, I really hope I can at least, get her started, hear the engine, see everything working this week. We'll see. It's kind of an odd week. I have some days that I need to be different places, and I can't be here. So I'll do my best. I will do my best, and yeah, very exciting. So, yeah, well, let's just wait for this coffee together. Smell that? I think even smelling it wakes you up. I know it does me. Something about it. Up here, where I live, it's getting towards fall. And that means we have one more blazing hot week, because I don't know, it's always been that way. They called it an Indian summer growing up. I don't know if that's something you can still say. I don't know. I don't know how that would be offensive. I'd be happy if you called it a Swedish summer, except I never look forward to it. When the weather starts cooling, I just want it to keep cooling because I hate sweating. Ooh. Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about working on Ella this week. So let's get to it. My back hurts already. Hey, way over there, guy. I know, it doesn't really seem appropriate. I've got my Ford Parts cup, but I'm not even working on a Ford. I'm working on a Buick. There's a Ford there. There's a Ford. Okay, there's a Ford there. I can't really call Mr. F a Ford. He has a Ford engine. He's a replica of a car that Ford raced through Carroll Shelby, who was attached to Ford at the time. So you think of it as a Ford, but it's not really a Ford. It's an AC, which was a British company. And it's confusing. So that's why it doesn't bother me when people put like an LS motor in a Cobra body, because it's like, well, it's not really a Ford, Not that it matters, because as you very well know, I'm talking about putting a Chevrolet engine in the Dodge pickup that you can't see. Normally, I'm a fan of the manufacturer's engine in the manufacturer's car, matching it, just because there's some kind of symmetry and honoring of the lineage and all of that. However, I'm not firm on that because I've seen a Jaguar engine in a Ford, 71 Ford, or 73 Ford. I've seen Ferrari engine in a 66 Ford. And I've seen LS engines and Chevy 350s, small blocks in everything. I've seen Toyota 2JZ engine, what was it, 69 Charger? You know, I love creativity, ultimately. So doing things like that is not offensive to me in the least. To me, it's the creativity. Hey, this guy had a wacky-brained idea, and he did it, and he pulled it off, and it works. Would I do it? I don't know, maybe not, but it's cool. So I like it. But, you know, at my core, I kind of, you know, have to think about it. Anyway, we're getting off track. This is all about Ella. So as you can see, as you saw, I threw my back out, moving the shop around. There's a very good reason for that. You know, Marcus Aurelius over there, it's going to be a few months before I get his engine back. So let's not block the door that he's been blocking. Let's shove him up out of the way by Dusty, who also is not going to get worked on for several months. And let's move Ella closer to the lift and the tools and the light for putting an engine in and get her up on the blocks. Let's take the Mustang here, and since the owner is either currently out of the country or not responding, I can't make any decisions on this car. So I just shoved it between the doors. It's out of the way. As soon as we can get together on our communications, I'll get more busy on that. So that's why I've moved everything around. That you're probably like, well, why would you do that? Remember those little square kids' toys that had like the 9 squares, but one was empty, and you had to slide them around to make the design, you know, get it in the right place? That's what my shop is all the time. I'm always shifting blocks around based on what I'm working on. So, okay, so come in here. I'm just going to show you kind of what I'm doing on Ella to prep for the engine coming this week, and then I'm going to get busy. Or drink coffee. Or get busy drinking coffee. All right, come over here and I'll show you what I'm doing. So when I realized this week that I was going to get the engine, I started looking at my pile of parts, which used to be over there, and remembering, hey, I have some things I need to do before this engine comes so that I'm ready when it comes. So let me show you a couple of the things. One, this exhaust manifold, this bolt broke when I was taking it off. So I gotta drill that out. I'll probably just drill it out. These are threaded, is what they are. I'll probably just drill it out and put a nut on the other side. Unless I'm able to tap it, I don't really need to. It'd be nice. Or if maybe I can extract it, that's a possibility. I'll still put some heat on it and maybe I can extract it. We'll see. Also, there's old junk on here, so I'm cleaning it off. Was it this manifold? I'm going to say it was this one, just because I'm looking at it. One of the exhaust manifolds was leaking. There was an exhaust leak. Well, you can kind of see it right there. All of this black, well, that's exhaust leaving not the proper way out here, trying to escape. Is it escape? It's not like an escape, it's escape. So yes, it was escaping out the wrong way. So I thought maybe I had a cracked manifold, but it turns out I just had a bad gasket. It just went bad, blew out and started doing that. So that's a relief. I don't have to buy exhaust manifolds or one or repair or whatever. So I'm prepping these mainly because I'm avoiding starting that because nobody likes that job. So there's that. The other thing I had forgotten about was I dropped the starter and broke it. I don't know if you can see these cracks here, but you can probably more easily see there's a piece missing. I think the starter would work. There's the piece. But I'm going to just buy a new starter and put it in. I'm not going to mess around with it. So I had to order a starter, and then my engine builder said the water pump that I brought him is leaking out of a weep hole. So he said, you're going to want to buy another water pump to put on it when you get the engine. So I ordered a water pump and gasket. So I got those coming. And then I remembered also, you were probably just looking at it like, hey, look at that. How come he's not talking about it? This odd fellow here, when I was taking all of these off, one of the boots came off and I broke it anyway. So I'll either repair the old one or put new wires on it so that I don't have one yellow one. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I have to do all those things. And then under the hood, while I was moving the power steering pump out of the way, the low pressure line literally snapped off. And if you noticed while I was moving around, it was dumping everywhere. Well, oh, there's a spot that I cleaned up. And then there's a little trail. And probably another spot under there. Anyway, I had some cleanup on aisle 3 to do. So I'll probably replace that line. I have some extra line in a box over here and some clamps. So I'll replace the power steering line while I'm waiting as well. So that's my plan. Work on exhaust. I've got the parts ordered. Repair this line, and then once we get the motor, we'll do more things. So I'm excited. It'll be good. So sit tight, enjoy your coffee. I'm going to struggle mightily with these exhaust manifolds. Okay, well, where were you? I was putting this engine together and you just kind of disappeared on me. So you missed some of it. But you know, exhaust manifolds and all little doohickeys and whatnots that plug in here and there. And also looking at all of the pictures on my phone to remember where everything plugged in. Because I don't believe, unless you are, for instance, a specialist in, you know, Buicks, you're gonna know just off the top of your head where you unplug something from. Always take pictures. When you're taking stuff apart, take pictures. You'll thank your past self for his thoughtfulness. So, yeah, I've got everything pretty much that I can put on while it's outside of the car. Everything else, well, it's inside. So, I guess let's stab it in there so we can keep doing that kind of thing. See if we can keep from, you know, damaging the nose of Ella here. This is always, for me, the most nerve-wracking part of the whole process. Because you're lifting up, in this case, I don't know, 800 pounds. It's heavy. It's, for a big block, it's heavy. And you don't want to smash it down on anything. You don't want to bolt to brake, you chain to brake. You don't want, you know, you want to make sure everything's snugged up and tight. As I'm talking to you, I'm checking. I'm not trying to make you nervous. I'm just saying, like, I get nervous. Especially because I've only got 2 eyeballs. If I remember right, this did not reach far enough in the car, and I had to pull it around the side, which means I may have to take a wheel off. We'll see. We'll see. But I can at least lift it over the nose, and then I can figure out what to do after that. All right. Hopefully, I can get this over the lip and then let it down a bit, because that hood is going to pose a problem, I believe. Come on, over to the side. All right, this is the tricky part. Get this over the lip and start letting it down. Okay, without letting it down too far. Okay, just a tiny bit. Okay. I was getting nervous setting it down too, like it's just going to go flunk. It's a technical mechanics term. Flunk. And it's not a good one. You don't want any of that. Okay. I'll lower this down just a tickle more. Okay, try that. Okay. Okay, a little more. Okay. It's going. Nose of the car is mighty close. Okay. All right. Ooh, baby. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Let's do this. Try to get the most out of this hood. What do we got here? For now, at least. That'll buy me an inch. Okay. Let's try this again. Teensy, teensy bit. How are we doing? Okay. So what I'm seeing here is I'm extended out as far as I can go, and I'm up against the nose of the car. So I did pull it from the side, I pulled it from the side and then brought it around to the front. Let's see if I can manage that again. Think I'm going to have to take this wheel off. So, yeah, hang out a bit. How'd you get up there? Hang out a bit while I take this wheel off and put a jack under there, and so I can swing the lift around that corner of the vehicle. So I think that is the only way. I'm lacking about a foot of arm. So anyway, I'm going to adjust some things and be right back with you. Well, it's in. Let's see how this looks. It's also in. So I just need to put the bolts in to suck transmission up to the engine. I need to slide these bolts in motor mounts, which I will do right now. If I can reach, I'll do it. We'll do it. Well, I can see it. Yeah, I just got to go underneath and slide it in, I guess. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's, like butter. Like butter, I'll just hand thread this on for now, and we'll tighten her down tomorrow. At least I'll get the, okay, yep. Let's just rub all this grease into the back of my shirt. Oh, sorry, did I kick you? Didn't mean to. Apologize for that. Don't take any offense. Let's see if I can do this one by feel, because that's definitely going to work. Guess I need to get to it from the other side. It's lined up. Okay. Again, can't they make concrete softer? That's all I'm saying. Someone come up with that idea. Okay. Okay. Let's see, wrap around both sides here. Yep. And it's started. Okay. And then we just have to line this up. Yep. And it'll work fine. It'll work fine. Okay, but that's tomorrow. Okay. Like I said, it's a super easy process, and anyone can do it. So don't be afraid to try. Just goes right in, like plugging in a socket. Okay, so I guess in the morning I am going to attach the bell housing to the back of the motor, attach the slushy, spinny transmission connector thingy to the flex plate. And then start plugging and playing. It's one thing at a time. Got to put all the accessories on the front, get the carb in, get all the spider web network of vacuum lines and put in the radiator, the usual. So tomorrow, let's crank this thing up. I'm not going to say we're driving this car tomorrow. Okay, let's not jinx us. But let's hear it running. Check for leaks, the usual. And then go from there. Let's not get too worked up. So I'm going to leave this hooked up for now because I don't know if I'm going to have to, you never know. I don't know if I'm going to have to do anything. But all right, I'll see you in the morning. We're getting close. We are getting close. By the way, that was rousing music. Yeah. Not arousing, rousing, like, you know, upbeat. Okay. I am to the point where I am ready to start putting coolant in. As far as I know, everything is hooked up and properly. So what I've done is I've left the heater hose disconnected on the top of the engine, since this is the highest point on the engine. So I'll fill the system, watch for leaks on all my hoses and everything. And when I get a little pushing out of here, then I'll put this hose on and we'll go from there. I have to put the battery in and make sure I don't have any, you know, sparks from hooking up something incorrectly. And if I don't have sparks, we're going to turn the key. I'm nervous and excited. So, I don't know, saw this laying on the ground and randomly decided to hook it up here, you know, because that's important to the whole process. I'm probably going to have to take this all apart anyway, but I just like to see it all together. That's all. Under the hood of this car is remarkably good. This is a good car. Solid, rust-free, well cared for in its life, and you can tell. You can just tell. The things wrong with it are because it's old, not because it was not cared for. So let me get a hose clamp, because I'm missing one. Just think we get to do this all over again. Ooh, that's a really big clamp. Let me get a different one. With Marcus Aurelius here behind you, you know, the Centurion, the red, huge boat. Ooh, that is too small. All right, let's see if this fits. Look at that, it's the perfect size. All right. So let's begin. Okay. I'm listening closely for water hitting the floor. You know what I just thought of? Well, I would know by now if I had closed the petcock on the radiator. I did. Well, I would have known by now if I hadn't, so. I don't know how many gallons this is going to take, actually. We will find out. Hopefully I can be ready with that hose there. Should probably put some gas in the gas tank too. Don't know what's in there. It was running off of it, so I guess it's okay. Need to prime the carburetor too. That's 3. Excuse me a minute. I guess I had a half here in the box. So 3.5. Whoop, there it goes. There it goes. Okay, so we know we have coolant up to the highest point here. Where's my... So now I can put some more in this little hopper. Stick the battery in there. I don't see any leaks so far, except for the one from it spilling out. Still going in. Slowing down though. Bloop. Aha. Oh, I see something leaking. What is it? Ah, this probably. Yep, that hose is leaking. Let's see if I can tighten that down better. Whoops, wrong one. Come on. Let's, this is also an old hose. All right, it's as tight as she can go. Let's see if it still leaks. I say an old hose, but I think I got it stopped actually. Oh, that's why. Okay. There's a lip there. I had to get it. I was on the wrong side of the lip, okay? My fault. The nice thing about this system is that you can, because this is the highest point, it's always putting pressure on everything. It's a good way to check for leaks before you even start the motor. So I was able to fix that leak. It's no longer leaking, and I know that it's good because of this. Now, you know, the increased pressure of the heat, et cetera, may, you know, come up with other leaks, but for now, it's fine. So this is what I'm going to do so I don't spill that. We're going to throw the battery on here, look for sparks, smell for smoke. If we don't hear anything, I'll prime that carburetor and we will crank her up. Now, if it starts, I need to move it towards the door over here. So let me rearrange some things in case that's the case, because I don't want to fumigate the shop here with an engine that's running a long time. Okay, let's see what happens. Ah, that's why. Okay. All right, what else we got? Wow. Wow. I gotta take it outside and let it idle, or I'll check for more leaks. And then once it warms up, I'll check the transmission, because I haven't done that yet. Oh, damn that. I also need to check the power steering because, well, I'm sure it doesn't have any in it. Isn't that great? What a great sound. Check temperature. Try to burp the system out. We'll check on that later. Whoa. So we're just gonna let the engine warm up. Make sure we got coolant and everything. Make sure it's happy. The power steering pump is a little noisy, but we'll hopefully work that out of it. You can see it's pushing out of the top a little bit here. That's okay. All right, looks like I need to add a little bit. This smoke you're seeing is just spilled oil and whatever. Nothing to be concerned about. So far, so good on the leaks front. Don't see any. Here. Well, I got a drip there. Let's see where that's coming from. Okay, my lower radiator hose is leaking a little. I just need to tighten that up. Yeah, just some oil and whatnot burning off. No biggie. What about my transmission cooler lines? They look okay. Let me turn the heater on, actually. See if I can get any more bubbles out of it. Okay. Let's check that transmission again. Whew, it's way down at the bottom. I'd say we need a quart in there. See if I have a quart. All right. Okay. Like it. I need transmission fluid and so I'll have to order some of that. Other than that, so far so good. We just got a little smoking off of the exhaust there. Just all the oil and nonsense from, you know, spilling things. It runs really well. Doesn't it look good too? Well, not quite ready to take it for a spin yet. I've got to get transmission fluid in it, and then I think I'll feel good about sticking it in drive and just kind of cruising it around. Oh, and I got to tighten up that tighten up the bottom coolant line. Well, I've brought her into this side of the shop here while I was waiting on my whatever transmission. That's the word I'm looking for. Transmission fluid. I put that in. It actually took 2 quarts. And I'm ready to go for a test drive. So far so good. Yeah, what a great car. So I'm going to change my shirt real quick. Whoop, sorry, sound guy. Apologize for that. Want to redo? No? Okay. I just won't do it again. Anyway, I'm going to change my shirt. Get off. I've been crawling around in the gravel in this one, and take old Ella for a ride. And yeah, you may as well come along. Why not? Maybe Sarah wants to come too. I'll go ask her. I got to looking back, and it's been 6 months since I pulled Ella onto the trailer to bring her home. I hadn't even heard her run at that point because I trusted the owner that something was bad wrong with the motor and I didn't want to make it worse. Brought it home, discovered it was bad and there were shavings in the motor. Also discovered the brakes, it didn't have any brakes, so I replaced the master cylinder and did brakes all the way around. I believe I did wheel cylinders and pads and maybe a couple lines, I can't remember. I think I did lines on the front. And if you remember, the paint was chipping, so I had my paint guy fix that for me, and then took the engine out and brought it to the engine shop, got it back, dynoed it, put it back in, and the car is everything that you think it is. Looking at it, it drives, floats down the road. It's a cruiser. It has plenty of power. If you need to pull out in traffic, it gets up and goes. I haven't checked the fuel mileage yet, but steering's light, and it's just a big old boat. And speaking of boat, that boat tail, the styling, this is the last year for the boat tail styling, 1973. They, of course, in 73 changed the front end because of, crash, regulations. So it did away with kind of the very fine bumper and put the big chunky one. But the chunky bumpers over the past years have kind of grown on me. Well, they've grown, but they've grown on me because it's an era, and the car has so much charm, and it's wonderful to drive. So, when the government gets involved, it makes things uglier. The car, it makes cars ugly. Cars don't look better because of regulation. They look uglier, but we do what we have to. So we're all very happy with, modern crash standards and crumple zones, and lives have been saved. But old cars have that charm that you just can't get anywhere else. So it's been a 6-month journey, mostly not working on the car, mostly waiting. And it feels good to be able to put some miles on it. So where do we go from here? I think this fall I'm going to drive her. I'm going to try to get about 1,000 break-in miles, make sure everything's good to go, and then we'll put her up for sale and make some room in the shop for some new projects and customer cars and whatnot. I have not done a car in my life that I was happy to sell. You know, other than needing the money, you know, I love all of them. I wish I could keep all of them. But then none of them would get driven because I'd have too many to drive. So it's good for them to go to a new home, someone who loves them, somebody who will hopefully drive the car, and with the newly rebuilt engine, new brakes, it's a pleasure and a time capsule for sure. I love the working 8-track. I've broken 2 8-track tapes in it so far because the tape itself is fragile because they're old, but they can be repaired. You know, you just have to splice them back together. But as long as the 8-track itself holds out, the player plays them, and it's just just the sound that comes out of those speakers has that, you know, vintage quality that's so cool. So cheers. This is going to wrap up the final episode on Ella, unless something goes horribly wrong and I have to bring her back. I do not regret buying that car at all. It was a good price because of the problems. The problems were fixable. We fixed them. It's a good car again. She's on the road. And that's what it's all about. You know, giving cars a second chance, just like you give people a second chance. So, you know, just because they're old, don't throw them out. They have a lot to offer. There are a lot of older people, and I don't even mean elderly, but older people who take it upon themselves to mentor young people. And that is the way it should work. Young people don't know anything. They're stupid. You know how I know? Because I was one. And I have some. But when it comes to youth, yeah, they need to listen to people with experience and take it to heart. But they won't, you know, because I didn't. So, you know, it's the way the world goes around. And the older I get, the more I appreciate the wisdom of age. And it's not boring. I love how old I am, and I plan on putting motors in cars until my boots are in the ground, or whatever I'm doing. You know, building a hot rod, doing whatever work it is, learning new things, doing things I've never done before. You know, until you're dead, keep doing stuff. So, yeah, life is too short to waste the best years, which are your golden years, which are your, you know, years, I don't know, over 50, whatever, when you finally, you know, are putting the pieces together. Those are the time when you can really do some good things. So I'm glad you're here. Again, glad you're here. I appreciate that you've subscribed and you comment and you like, and it's fun. It's fun to just hang out with you in the shop and do shop things. So anyway, see you next week. Hope you have a great week until then. I guess I don't have a catchphrase. Yeah. Stay frosty. You better go before this gets even worse.